I've been hot pink, which is love, baby.
Okay.
That's love, okay? And I've been that color for 10 years. But everybody's different. Like, let's say you're red. Well, if you were red before, you may now be white, you see, because you're going up in vibration. But it's charting that in the growth of your mental, emotional being, as well as in the yin-yang balance and in the colors. You see, so there's just so much involved in this that people don't really know because they don't have the available equipment.
How many people did you have on that trip?
We probably had about 20 people. And that truly was a life and death experiment for me because we slept at night in the desert. The most magnificent thing you've ever seen with all these stars and these giant things that were rocks that looked like mushrooms.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? We had then had a sandstorm that we almost died. So when I say life and death, I mean truly life and death. So there was much learned then.
So God healed you and tried to bury you.
That's the truth. He saved us.
All right. That's really good.
So that was unique.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Any
That's
questions, Lisa?
fascinating.
You know what? I find it fascinating too, which
Really?
is why I do it. Yeah.
Pink? Okay.
Yeah, you like the pink, huh?
Adolphina, how long have you been, has this happened to you? Like, when did you heal yourself? What year?
I guess it started 10, 12 years ago.
Okay.
And it was a little bit by a little bit. You know, people think that most of the time that if you have something really dramatic that it can be instant, but many times it takes longer
Takes
than
a
that.
long time.
And people, mainly, and I can tell you why, it's because we're denser than we were, say, for instance, when Jesus lived. He could touch people and straighten out bones. People were not as dense then,
Okay.
you see?
And before then, you just were believing in the normal upbringing?
Well,
whatever
I
you-
was always spiritual,
You were
but
always
I was
spiritual like
raised
that.
as a Christian.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Does that mean you're still consider yourself a Christian?
Oh, absolutely. Jesus is my guardian. God is, you know, we're all one with God. We're all just an atom in the body of God.
Okay.
That's how we're all one. We all breathe the same air, don't we?
Yes, we do. We do.
Adolphina, who are your the basic angels that you would call upon to help you in certain healings and just in everyday life? To help
Well,
people?
you know, mostly I work with the biggest angel of all, which is God, then Jesus, but I also work with Mother Mary, and I work with Archangel Michael and Gabriel. In fact, when I had my first at-one-ment with God on an energetic basis, during my first healing process energetically, well, I woke up in the middle of the night and I looked this way and I seen a giant set of eyes. And I look this way, and I see a giant set of eyes, right? And I was scared. I mean, who wouldn't be, right? So I guess the only way I can describe it is, have you ever seen that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger where he's battling the aliens, but they're invisible, and I can't remember the name of that, but you can see the energy. Predator.
Yes.
And you could see the energy, right, of the being. Well, that's what it was like. And here I says, who is this? And I heard Archangel Michael. And then I said, and who is this? And I heard Archangel Gabriel. And they were guarding me because the light was so very strong coming down from God in this healing process that they felt I needed that protection.
When I know that when Raphael comes to me, I see that same like glittery, and it reflects green, you know, like diamond shaped, little green things.
Green aura.
And the reason why Archangel Raphael wasn't there is because he's in my house.
Could be.
I keep him in my house for my purposes. He was busy with me.
I occasionally work with Archangel Raphael too.
Do you?
But I do. And he's a wonderful healer.
Oh, yes.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful healer.
Have you witnessed him as well?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And I have. And I work with many angels. For the most part, except for my mother and father, they prefer to go unnamed because, you know, they're innumerable. You know what I mean? And they're one with God, so they don't need a name, in other words. The archangels all have names, of course. But yes, I call upon a certain technique that's needed, and then that angel who specializes in that will come.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And when you got healed, were they involved as well?
Oh my God, of
Testimonial.
course, of course. none of this is doable without God and the angels, really.
Okay.
Even, and you don't even have to believe, really.
All
You
right.
really don't, and it can still occur.
It still occur.
Yeah.
And now we're going to be witnessing our third testimonial. This will be as well in Italian, and there is a lady named Franca with her husband named Franco that will be doing the next testimonial.
Buonasera, sono Franca e questo è mio marito Franco. Un giorno mio marito è andato all'ospedale per una piccola operazione, è andato là, ha vissuto là 5 mesi, che ha preso un virus, racconto la storia, ha preso un virus e è stato troppo male. Un giorno ho incontrato Claudia alla banca, ha parlato, mi ha dato la figurina di San Raphael, ha detto prega questa qua, che questa è per questo santo è per i malati. E io sono andata da mio marito, ho letto qua, ha portato le figurine che mi ha dato Claudia. E mio marito era licenziato di dottore, non c'era niente più che fare, ma grazie a Dio, con l'aiuto di San Raphael, si è svegliato, la mattina si è svegliato, è andato bene, è stato un paio di mesi dopo che si è svegliato ed è tornato a casa. Adesso
ancora siamo insieme.
ancora siamo qua, stiamo bene. Ringrazio a San Raphael del miracolo che ha fatto, perché è stato un miracolo. Tutti quanti l'hanno detto che è stato un miracolo che ha fatto San Raphael. Ecco, ho incontrato a Claudia alla banca, che ci conosciamo da 5-6 anni sono che ci conosciamo, e mi ha dato queste figurine e poi siamo qua. No.
As you might have noticed, everybody meets me at the bank. Yes, all my healings come from people that come visit me, because all I do is talk all day to these people. So Franca here is with her husband, who is now 94. This happened 2 years ago. The miracle happened 2 years ago. She describes how her husband went one day into the hospital for a minor surgery, ends up staying 5 months, and he gets a bacteria in the hospital, which is very common in our hospitals. Yes, which almost killed him. So her husband, all his bodily functions broke down. He was in a semi-coma, and the doctors had given the family no more hope. So they went to make funeral arrangements. The day she comes to see me, I ask her, how's everything, how's your husband? And she tells me that there is no hope for her husband. She had just come from making the final arrangements. She said her husband was in bad condition and there was no hope. At that point, I took out my famous St. Raphael figurine, which I keep with me all the time, and I said, are you going to see him? She says, definitely I'm going to see him. Actually, I changed my mind and I gave her 2. So I said, take this to him and there is hope. So she took the figurines and she prayed with him being in a semi-coma state. The next morning, he came out of his semi-coma and he started talking, and the doctors were completely baffled. This is a man who already had funeral arrangements, and he's coming out. So he remained there a couple more months until all his kidneys were completely functioning. Every other organ was back to normal. And the wife, I found this out 3 weeks later when I thought that he was already buried, and she said, well, he'll be home soon, and when he's home, I will take him to see you. And so she did. In the video, they are forever thankful to Saint Raphael and to God and to myself for praying for him for the miracle that was granted. That was done on July 12th. The night before, she asked me to pray for his kidneys because apparently he had another problem. He was going for a test next day, and I did pray for him. She came to see me last Monday, July 16, and told me that there's absolutely nothing in his kidneys and that there was another miracle done, and everything is great.
Well, that's a great testimonial.
Yes.
I'm happy to hear somebody that age be healed
94,
like that,
and he doesn't
especially-
look 94.
Especially being on his deathbed.
Yes.
I'd like to introduce our next guest. Our next guest is from Montreal, Canada, and his name is Antonio Araujo, and he has a story of interaction with an angel and a healing. Antonio?
Hey, how you doing? Pretty well, Claudia. I've known Claudia for over 20 years now, and kind of funny because we went to high school together. I haven't seen her in X amount of time. I feel it's my story the way it's Tommy's. Forgot your name.
Joanne.
And Joanne. So I've been diagnosed with MS. So it all started 20 years ago when this hand started going like this somewhat. Well, it's back, but it's at about 95%. I do concrete for a living, so it's pretty hectic, pretty involved. It's been, let's say, a good 6 years ago now. Doctor once put me on full disability. He didn't want me to work anymore. The story with that was that I got hit. I got hit again with MS. My legs started going. I could barely do walking around the block, around the home. So doctor goes, Tony, you can't work. I go, can't work, but I want to work, but Tony, you can't. So MS deals with being tired. So I was tired most of the times. With this story going sour, he puts me on medication. I do major medication. I come out of it, but I'm not really 100%. But he still wants to put me on the medication. So pretty well, I'm on medication when I meet up with Claudia a couple of years over because of the high school reunion. So I meet up with Claudia with the high school reunion, and the funny thing was, Claudia has extra powers, not only St. Gabriel, she also has the medium power. So she calls me up before we go to that high school reunion. I'll get to this story soon, give me a sec. She calls me up, she goes, I got a message for you. And I'm there like, what's the message? She goes, well, somebody wants to talk to you. I go, who, from the school, you know? I said, wow, I'm gonna get lucky with somebody from old time. I said, long story short, call me back to this. She goes, your wife wants to talk to you. My wife, who's passed away now 15 years, passes me a message. So, blessed Claudia. Costa, remember Costa? Anyway, Claudia.
Claudia, yes, Claudia.
I spoke to my wife. God bless my wife. She's up there. She's doing well, and she's helping me out. So Claudia finally talks to me, and I explained to her my MS situation, and Claudia is like telling me, Tony, I can pray for you. I go, Claudia, really? There's no hope for me. No, Tom. And I get to know Claudia. We become friends from the past, and we become friends in the future. So she keeps telling me that she wants to pray for me. I go, Claudia, really? There's other people that need more help than I do. Look, I can barely walk, but I'm okay. You know what, guys? Claudia prayed, and slowly, I stopped shooting myself. I stopped having cases. I work 5 days a week. I enjoy working. I enjoy talking to Claudia once in a while, and I still razz her. She tells me, but Tony, the prayers work. I go, like hell, Claudia, they don't work. You know, but I just let her know, but she's great. I don't give her full credit. I don't give you
credit,
didn't do
you
nothing,
mean? Like
Claudia.
credit?
She's great.
And it is over 30 years that we know each other.
I've been to the chapel. And I've been at the chapel, and the chapel, there's nothing happening there either, Claudia.
Is that?
She's great. Just enjoy her.
What?
Guys, I'm 100%. My doctor still freaks out. And every time I talk to my doctor, the only thing I ask him is that I want to do the Goliath at Springfield, which is the deadly ride, which is, Claudia, thank you very much. Me, the kids, everybody. We enjoy, I've been blessed.
Well, Claudia told me it's over 30 years.
Over
so
30 years that we know each other.
then,
That's right. You want to cut on our age?
Or?
Or?
My age. You guys are being very nice.
It didn't work.
Nice.
It didn't work, Antonio.
No, I didn't. No, but right, I go see my doctor once in a while, and he still goes, Tony, but you have to shoot yourself constantly.
They don't understand. They don't understand that you don't
all
need.
I want to do is rides. All I want to do is do a ride. You know, guys, from being in a wheelchair 6 years ago to doing this, and working in concrete. I kick in, I kick out. You know, I enjoy my life.
How'd you do that?
Did you do a little twisting?
I've been told to sit down. You guys are talking about, have you heard this? Is it possible God talks to me?
Of course.
But I interrupt him. Is it possible? That happens.
Women can do that.
Sometimes I talk to God and he's talking to me and it's like, Tony, you must, really? And he just shut up. When you're ready, I'll talk to you. Is that possible?
Yes. Yes.
That's really good. Okay, we're going to move on to the next testimonial.
Yeah, now we're going to move on to our fourth testimonial, which this one's in English. Everybody will be happy to hear that. Her name is Cecilia, and she's from Montreal.
Hi, my name is Cecilia. My life is worth living since I've met Claudia at the National Bank in May 2011. It was a great relief because I was discouraged of life. Because I was making 11 months, I was suffering from a chronic neck pain. I had spent lots of money spent with doctors and specialists for help. Finally, an ORL doctor sent me to have a cortisone injection, but it didn't take away all the pain. He said I would have pain all my life and that I should live with it. Something wonderful happened to me. In the National Bank, I met Claudia and explained the situation. She asked me if I had confidence in my archangel, and I replied, surely I do. That night and several other nights, she prayed to my archangel at the same time. Each night before falling asleep, I would think of Claudia and pray to my archangel to take the rest of my pain away. It was only making a few weeks that I had noticed my pain was less worse. I met Claudia a second time. She continued praying, and finally, all my pain is gone. What a miracle. I just can't believe it. Every night I thank my archangel of having put Claudia on my right path. With her help and the prayers, I'm now a joyful person, filled with faith, happiness, and energy. I even bought myself an angel to put in my car when I travel to protect me for my trip and from all accidents.
This was videotaped on July 13th, and the prayers I did for her were not continuous. There were just two of them. One on the 18th of January when she came in to see me at the bank. She said to me, can you do one more so maybe it will completely go away? And I did another one on the 16th of February because there's only a few times that I do these intensive prayers per month. I always call upon Saint Raphael for my healings, and I don't do continuous prayers. I don't pray for people every night. I just do one prayer or two, and I do it for their specific ailments that the people suffer from. And usually when they're sleeping, I always ask for people to be sleeping. I ask them when they're sleeping, and at that time I do send the angel to them. Also, like you've seen some testimonials, not all of the miracles happened during the night. A lot of them happened while they were speaking to me. As people tell me their illness, I pray for them right on the spot, and I have had miracles, like the man who was 94 and the girl's grandmother. Those people didn't get any intense prayers from me. They just got my figurine, which seems to be very miraculous. And so I'm very happy that these kind of things are bringing lots of hope to people.
I want one of the figurines.
I have the figurines in my wallet that I will leave behind.
Okay.
Claudia, I have to ask you, I just pray at night for all my friends, my family. Of course, if there's a problem, you're going through or someone is going through, I pray for that. And sometimes I fall asleep praying because there's just so many issues, with people. So my question is, and I'm not praying for, healings necessarily. I can't even imagine when people know that you have a gift, how long of a list, and is there any point where you have to shut people out?
I might as well have a 24-hour hotline.
Yeah.
Yes, they come there and everybody has an issue. Everybody has a health problem. I have my friend, the priest, Father Paul, he's a friend of mine, and I saw him for lunch because he's battling cancer. So he asked me to pray for his knee. And I told him, that's wear and tear. It's kind of hard for me to, you have to handle the wear and tear situations. I'll handle the big ones.
Right.
Now his cancer has shrunk from, it was the size of a grapefruit, it's gone to the size of a golf ball. So I said, don't let them operate in any ways they can't because it's in a very delicate position. And I just continue to, I'm going to keep working on him, but I can't help his knee. His knee, I could help, but it's wear and tear. It's part of what happens when you're getting older.
Pick and choose your battles, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. When you fall asleep and you're saying your prayers and you fall asleep, what it does is it puts you on another level, another state. That's why you fall asleep, because it makes you comfortable and you relax and you fall asleep. It happens to me all the time. A lot of times your prayers will carry on into your dreams, and then you'll receive messages from loved ones or whatever.
Yeah,
Yes.
and actually, what Joanne was describing, the pains when the angel came to see you, I always warn people that you are going to have pain in the area where it's being worked on, and that's excellent. That means that it actually was worked on. If you wake up with the pain, and I'm working on your knee, for instance, and your knee is hurting you next morning, you could be sure that there's good stuff happening. So that's what you felt, like when you were...
on and off the whole next day, I felt
Yes.
it.
When you sent Raphael to me, that time for a specific problem,
Yeah.
I certainly felt that.
Yeah.
And I did wake up. I expected to see a giant figure, but I saw, once again, the sparkling lights. This time it was like green, and there was more of like a burgundy color in it with it. So I'm figuring it's him and the Blessed Mother were there. And I knew I was going to be all right, and I have been fine ever since.
Well, I know that St. Raphael is the one that follows me everywhere. That's why I brought his picture up there that's behind you. This is a painting. I love paintings. My chapel has 16th century paintings as well. This one is from painting from Bartolomé Murillo Perez, who was a very famous painter in Spain. He was born in 1617 and he died in 1682. This painting was the year before he died. He was so well known for his religious paintings. Like if you look him up, his last name is Murillo Perez. Amazing, amazing paintings. I have some of them in my chapel. They're all from the 16th century. And why do they show St. Raphael looking very human?
Yeah.
And it's taken thousands of years. They've made it into this is the image that they've built for him. So a lot of times you're going to see him wearing, looking like a young man dressed in traditional garb, like looking like a medieval traveler or a pilgrim. And he wears a yellow cloak. Sometimes you're going to see him with a broad hat with a feather in it.
He is the patron saint of travelers.
Yes, he's always wearing these winged sandals, and he carries a staff. But on the staff, there's these twin snakes that are at the end of it, which, if you look at the symbol, it represents the physician.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the thing.
I have a question for Adolphina.
Yes.
When you received healing, do you also experience the tingling effect or the sensation that they were speaking of?
Oh, absolutely. And the pain especially, because when you get pain, that's expedited healing. And you can feel it in, many times it almost seems to me like it's a laser beam and it's going zzz, 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 and that is a specific point to somewhere, you know, when they're working on a specific issue.
Okay.
Or it can come in through your head or wherever the issue is.
Whatever the issue is.
Yeah.
I have one other question. When you were speaking about the colors of the R's,
Yeah.
and you were saying that it's people moving, advancing, or I don't know how you said it, but what exactly does that tie into? Like having many lives and coming back and the spiritual growth, or?
Well, as people progress, your color is nothing more than a vibration.
Okay.
So the higher your vibration goes, so does your colors go higher, and so they will advance due to the rising vibration.
Okay, thank you.
Joe, with everything you've heard, I know you were excited to meet Adolphina today too. What are your feelings on this? You know, I know Claudia did your healing for you, and you're hearing Adolphina's her methods of doing healing. I mean, in comparative, they are very similar. They call on angels to do the healing. And what's your take on all of that?
I just feel very honored to be here, especially I told Tommy that I'm sitting next to Adolphina, who I just started reading about and watching her videos, and I just was in awe.
Well, thank you, Joanne. That's such a
And
nice
of course,
compliment.
meeting everyone here, and very grateful for Claudia and Tommy for just making me think and feel differently about life, and just being more positive and learning about these wonderful archangels and what they could do for you.
It just goes to show that there is hope for anybody who gets sick. Then actually our next show we're going to feature other testimonials, and there's a lady called Solange Caron who is, we will see her testimonial. She was diagnosed with cancer in 2004 and was in palliative care, and it's 2012. She decided she didn't want to die. So hope in life, hope if you have an illness, you can conquer it, and we will be seeing more testimonials in the next show.
All right, we're coming to the close of our show. I'd like to thank our studio audience, and I'd also like to thank our wonderful guests that we had today, and my co-host, and my fabulous crew that we had, and our sponsors.
Yes.
Okay, Antonio's Pork Store in Tottenville, Anthony Rizzo, proprietor, and Aardvark Pest Control, Great Kills, Vincent Bonacore, president. Thank you very much for coming. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.